Hello there. We have returned. So, announcements. I just now, my mouse is not cooperating with me today. It's doing this again. I don't know why. That's okay. We're going to ignore it. Announcements. So, today, yesterday, I guess, I finished the overhaul for Pirates and PowerHolders. So, Pirates and PowerHolders, for those of you who probably know by now if you've been watching these streams, One Piece, a guide to running a One Piece inspired D&D campaign in 5th edition. I wrote the book back in 2020, 2021, and I just finished overhauling it. Basically completely redoing it. It's not up live yet, but if you go to the link, !DnD, that show, just fix stream element spot. Go to DriveThruRPG, Geekamori Hermitage, you'll find it. It'll be available soon. I don't know when I'm going to drop it. But we're also working on Pirate's Guide to the Sky, which is an expansion with 6 new races, 3 new backgrounds, and over 50 items and monsters, as well as a full adventure for level 6 adventurers. And we're going to be doing a one-shot for that. Next month should be happening. So today we're going to be working on some headshots for that, some reactives. Now, but before doing anything else, showing this off. So I was working on this last time we were doing art streams, and it's done. It's basically done now. I considered streaming it, but I didn't. I decided against it because it was mostly just detail work and texturing and a lot of stuff that was really boring. And I was only working on it in like 20 to 40 minute bursts, so I wasn't even streaming that. But for those of you who stuck around for those first few streams when I was doing this, you get to see it in basically form. I don't know how much I'm going to stream of what's left of this art piece, but we'll cross that road when I get to it. I think it'll just become a thing of, if I feel like streaming it, I will, and if I don't, I won't. I also apologize in advance. In addition to being a chill stream, my sinuses are acting up on account of the weather, so I'm a bit under the weather today. I almost didn't stream, but this has to be done. And I posted on Twitter earlier, I've been working so hard on the overhaul book, on overhauling Pirates and PowerHolders, that I'm kind of in a weird mental place where it feels weird working on anything else. Because I've just been in the habit of, wake up, turn on my computer, pull up the draft, put something in the background, and then start typing. And I've been, and do that until you're done. And then close it at like 12:30. Midnight. That's been my habit for over a month. It feels weird doing it. Whether or not, I guess, it's not even really a pun. It's kind of almost obvious. So, in case any of my friendos are going to be showing up, this is not going to be the level of quality that we're going to be doing for the headshots. Not quite, because first of all, this is 2,500 pixels. This was very important. We're doing a little simpler. Hopefully, we can actually just do one headshot per stream. A little simpler. Else it's not operate. It's going to be more akin to what I did for the book. So to find some good ones without just revealing everything. So something more akin to these three. But I've been doing, obviously there's a huge leap between these, when I did these, I guess almost a year ago. I guess like 8 months ago was when I did these. Yeah, I think the one on the girl on the right I did in April of last year, something like that. May? I think it was May. It's gonna be May. But So obviously I've gotten a lot better since then. So there's gonna be it's gonna be more quality, but it's gonna be at about this level of detail. Yeah, I've even oh, like for example, I was thinking about pulling up. Get back over here. So we're going to be drawing our first character, because I think this will be the easiest. This will be Hollow Blossom's character. Athena, the Cherubot Wizard. So this was the sort of AI image that she sent me as a reference. That's what we'll be using as a base. A Cherubot. So these are two examples of Cherubots from the book. Kind of used as a reference. So little childlike robots with square heads and round eyes. A reference from the series we'll also be using. So these will be almost perfect circles. But now we get to work. I talked a few weeks ago about how I learned that there was apparently a competitor on the market that I didn't know about. That she was actually doing, I don't know anything about this, so I don't know names, I don't know anything. But that she was making characters for that, and she wanted to play a wizard. Apparently the guy was like, no, there's no magic. You can't play a wizard. And I'm like, bruh. Bruh. Nami was literally trained by the Wizards of Witheria. I don't know what you're talking about. This character will also be fun to work on a little bit. Just on account of the fact... the whole premise of her character is that a fire user. Actually, I'm trying to put an emphasis on doing it. Not something I did a lot when I start just light angle. Yeah, basically. Now keep in mind, it's not going to be an exact cube, but it's basically... We're gonna round some of the... I've been doing this in the pencil for some... Yeah, I should just... what I'm using. Those. We're gonna try and figure this. Didn't really do so. Anyway, I was saying she has a flame aesthetic. So we're going to do, since she's a robot, integrate that a little. Try not to make probably. Try to get the proportions right. Peace and blessings! Welcome, Ace. We're doing, welcome. We're doing Hollow's character first. Doing Hollow's first. I think it'll be the easy. But draw me next. Okay. Yes, sir. Although we probably won't get to that today. Probably won't get to that today. Yay and aw, yeah. One at a time, one at a time. Because to be honest, even I don't really know how long this is. Not really. I'm putting... Well, I've gotten better, obviously. I've gotten better, so... But better... I haven't really gotten faster. Hopefully that doesn't look too much like a peep. Yeah, I'm experimenting a little bit. Because up to this point, I've typically done lineless drawings. Gotten the shape I wanted first and then drew after. We're not doing that. We're trying to do things a bit more traditional. It's been one of my goals lately to try and. I've realized a weakness of mine is that I was kind of just jumping into it without revisiting the fundamental. That's what I want to do. Revisit the fundamental. We'll edit these. Something I liked. There's always a point when it comes to trust the process. Trust the process. My goal is to try and do one per stream. We'll see whether that actually ends up happening. That's my goal. Almost perfect. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. Curve. Vision. Now, this one's really fun because he seems to have sort of more of a timid expression. However, Cherubots don't have exchangeable faceplates or anything, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge in that basically her character is going to have a forced smile because. I need to move that into later, but that's okay. It really does look like a piece, doesn't it? A little bit. Just a little bit. It's really... Can you do the French voice while drawing? Does that answer your question? Oui. Oui. Oui, oui. Uh-huh. Oui, attendez, putain, je ne sais quoi. How do you say? A little bit. How do you say? I'm trying. That's another challenge I'm doing. I'm trying to not to rely on Control C. Actually get better at drawing symmetric without, you know, without having to. I think the issue. Oh, I see the problem. That comes down farther. That's why I messed it up. Measurements. There we go. Basically what I've been doing in my off time, like when I've been sketching, is basically just giving myself notes as if I were my own art teacher. Like, hey, improve this. Hey, improve that. Like, really studying my own art in that. Like, wherever it is. It's just infinite. I like that. Stuff like that. Person. I think you can already kind of. Going to give me a second. I'm gonna operate. I'm only at like 30% memory. I don't know. Get black screen for a second. I'm gonna be digging through my files when I exit. But like I said, I've been practicing in my office. I'm specifically practicing drawing One Piece. So, my mouse. I have some references. I just got. You broke OBS again. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. We're fine. No, I didn't. I turned it off on purpose. Yeah, so I have some on-hand references for my drawing. Also, because it's going to be positioned differently, I'm going to have to draw the entire pupil, even without the eyelid. I wonder how you're gonna draw mine. Yeah, me too, honestly. We'll get there when we get there. I have some ideas. I have some ideas. Especially since you'll be playing a Furthin. Like, I have some ideas for integrating some tattoos into the design in a way that honors the core reference rather than subtracting from it. I have some ideas. Okay, let him cook. Let me cook. Anyone can cook. Yeah, I've got ideas. If anything, I appreciate. I in a certain way, not having a image to go off of. I really like the first one. I can appreciate not having a off of. For some of them, it'll just be, I'll just be effectively. I can appreciate having a little creative freedom. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, this works. It's very Animal Crossing coded. It's very Animal Crossing coded. It's kind of awesome though. Kind of awesome. Hello, Boris. Coloring. Are filling out. Yeah, having the wiggle room is always nice. I just did a VT model for someone yesterday. They gave me a small ref, but added in so much of my own stuff. It was great. And my friend, yeah, it's always nice. Balance. Respecting the fact that, you know, it's not my characters. Yes. I know what to do. There we go. That makes coloring in the Thanos balance. All things should be. This is another habit I've been... Oh, hold on. It looks different. Let me... Or I might need more light in my room or something. Yes. Oh, hold on. In the right. I wish I could show you. It looked different on... I don't know why. That's... Anyway, we work with it. Because I think I almost mentioned it. I have some, what I think are some fun ideas for this. Because this character is not only a robot, but also specific. But what's the word? Arsonist is not close. She's a firebug. Likes fire. And so I hope to integrate that in. Yes, this character is a machine built for fire. Particular. Oh. The way it is for now. I can always... gonna try some. It's gonna be. I want it. A little creepy no matter what we do. There's no eyebrows or. Merge some of. Okay. I dropped my stylus. It hits all. Alt delete. think I stood in the wrong layer. Probably won't do. They might not do. The reason I'm doing this much for robot, her face doesn't emit at all, so any emotion from her has to come from. It's so Animal Crossing coded. It's so Animal Crossing. I love it. Oh. Nintendo's gonna come knocking. Oh no. Oh no, I can't afford a loan. That's one. We're good from here to start adding. Kind of Not a lot of curves here. She's a robot. Her eyes are going to be a little bit sunken around. Might end up looking like a girl. There we go. Sleepy Robo, yeah. But I think the vibe was supposed to be like timid. That's kind of what I got. But it's just gonna kind of look like this will be the passive image, and then the speaking image will look a little more alive. A little more alive. I'm done. Do you have a chance to watch a Hightail video? I've not. That's on. Music. Let's take a brief break. I'm going to go powder my helmet, and we'll be back in a few. I think Also, my computer. Goodness, burning my eyes. We'll take a quick 3-minute ad break and then grab a snack, do whatever you gotta do. I made a sandwich because I was really hungry. Trying to make a point of not eating on stream, but this is a chill stream, and besides, it's not crunchy. Won't be any noise. I seem quiet for a little bit. I'm probably... Okay. Now move on to the hair. Which, no joke, will probably be one of the harder parts. Try to break this down. So they made Smash Bros. Mod and COD mod on Hightail, so D&D is for sure possible. No doubt. And I know I've seen suffer before where it was more like first person. That is cool. That is cool. I do feel like just sort of gut instinct. It'd probably be a lot more work. Arguably, obviously we'd have to see. I'd have to see. That still take work for sure. I couldn't imagine having to actually like physically build every team I use. That's a lot. It'd be worth it at the end though. I could definitely see myself doing it for like a one shot. Not upcoming one shot. In theory, I could, but not like as a once off. I could definitely see a lot of fun. I couldn't see myself doing a whole campaign around it, but definitely see it being a lot of fun. Yeah, I gotta look at the build mode in the game. It's like a dev tool, you can import stuff, so I think it pixel art easy. Yeah, it does. Oh. Oh, wait, hold on. When did this happen? OBS stopped. OBS isn't broadcast. Dang it, Ace. You say something. Gee. Does this sometimes if it shuts down. Oh, it came fully disconnected. That would be why. Where did it? You did this. It does this sometimes when it goes into... Okay, we're good. We're back. There we go. Now you can see. He's not bald. There we go. Bongs. Should I be a D? If you want to be. That's ultimately... the one. Really matter, I don't think. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the sky. Thinking about IP and only comes from Blue Ocean. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I don't... Never seen... Obviously, in canon, we don't say definitive. But just thinking about the lore that I have, I'm not sure. Trying to wean myself off of this, but I don't have it. Oh. On. Oh my god. Or fine, I didn't know. Starting to come together. I think it's like Bob, I don't. Might be that the head. Might be the head. Might be that I need. I think that's what needs to happen, but except me. Right? I will admit, I think one of my favorite things about drawing the cheer bots is the, you know, it's just, it's a good vibe, I think. Good vibe, I think. The hair. Maybe. Actually solves the problem. I think the issue, what it's doing. There we go, yeah. The head is slightly turned, and so there's like kind of a weird curve to it. Actually meant to. Fitting giving. Wonder whether this wasn't referenced. This / Labrys. That's kind of how I'm interpreting it. I was talking about this earlier. Being a robot and all. A little bit of creative. That I can kind of things. Or biology. Is that? Play music. This won't just be a visor, it'll also be a vent. more I realized one of the big differences between an amateur artist and a pro is speed. Been here for almost 2 hours. Pro, I mean. Experimenting. You are very fast. Probably. For quality control. This is something I... Just in my sketching. Able to. think I prefer this one. Woo. Bot not working. Got a bot that's thanks to and work. And work. Yeah. We move on. All right, well, I think I need another quick break, but we might actually, I was kind of disparaging earlier, but I think we might actually be able to get this to do. We need to do a little bit of the body, then make the be a little bit of... How long have you been drawing? Tell us about your art origin. You know what? I will, when we get back from the break. Because The one downside about drawing is I have to turn my brightness up to make sure the colors are right, and it burns my eye. So we'll be back in 3. Keep you at the edge. Fence. Whoa! Muted my... Okay. So, to answer your question, Ace, I've gone over this a little bit on stream. But... So I always drew when I was a kid, and art was a kind of ever-present part of my childhood. I was always drawing. My closet, my child bedroom closet is still filled to the brim with sketchbooks that have been largely. But when I graduated middle school, I quit. And the reason I quit I didn't feel like I was good enough. Not only did I not feel like I was good enough, but there were kids in my class who just were better artists. And so I felt very inadequate, put it bluntly. And so I stopped. I quit when I got to high school. And it kind of became a thing where it's like, yeah, you know, if I had the time, I'd love to be able to do it again, but who really has time for that? Maybe when I retire someday. I just never really had time. And so... we can have a museum of Wally art. There's not as much as you might think. There's not as much as you might think. But, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I quit. But I never, you know... I never stopped wanting to. I just kind of stopped feeling confident enough. So when I was in college... there were a few things I had. They kind of boost my confidence again. A small museum of Wally art. Yeah, a small museum. A gallery. There actually is. There's one piece from middle school. Maybe when I was in middle school. That I love. Still love it. I still adore it. I still think it's one. Specifically, one of my frustrations, and one of the reasons why you can look here, I was doing lineless art as opposed to more traditional stuff. Right. Part of the reason for that is when I was a kid, I always felt like whenever I added color to my sketch, it immediately became crap. And so for a long time, I was just doing black and white sketches. So every time I added color, I felt like it ruined it. I felt like it looked better as a black and white sketch. Horrible feeling. Horrible feeling. But, there were a few things that happened in college to boost my confidence again. I ended up designing the logo for the club that I was a president of. That helped. But then what really happened, what really did it, was actually C3TV. You remember my old moniker. Of course, you know, I think it's fairly obvious. I made my own model, everything I hand drew it all myself. So when I started C3B, of course I drew the model, I drew the set, I drew all of it, and it was 90% tracing. It was 90% tracing. It was 90% tracing, but you know, that was okay. That was okay. We traced it and we got it done, but it looked pretty decent. And then I might show this off later. So I got a little more confident. And so for my home D&D game, which is Pirates and PowerHolders, which does use the book in Pirates and PowerHolders, available for sale on DriveThruRPG, same system that will be running next month. I've been running that game for years. And so they, around this time, I guess this would have been about 2 years, they got their first ship. And so I drew the ship because I wanted it to be fully customized to their preferences. So I drew everything. Figurehead, I drew all the rooms, I drew it all. And there was still a lot of tracing, but there was also a little bit of stuff that wasn't traced. And because a lot of the details were so small, I didn't need to get it all exactly very, not low effort, very low. Very low stake. So that increased my confidence more because it turned out so well. And so then the time came to work on Pirate's Guide to the Sky, which what I'm drawing right now, which is what this drawing was for, it's what this drawing was for. And I had the idea, like, okay, well, I want there to be art for this. So, problem, I want my book to have art. Second problem, I'm poor. What do I do? And so, after drawing the ship, after drawing everything else, I had the idea, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. And I did. And the first drawing I did turned out really well. And so I just kept drawing. And yeah, I showed it off at the start of stream. I guess you weren't there. I'll show it off again in a bit, I guess. I started in like April or May of last year, and because I was doing art for the book, that kept me occupied. That kept me very occupied. I was not short on things to draw. Not one bit. Not short on things to draw, so basically everything I drew for the book. And so then obviously done. There kind of did become a question. I've improved so much. I mean, I did this maybe August of last year? This was more like, this one was in October. I remember because I was grinding in October. That one was October. The question kind of became like, okay, what now? Talent I want to keep building, or kind of a one-off deal? And for now, I've decided that I want to keep talent. You know, we'll see what life has in store, to what extent doing that. But I kind of made a New Year's resolution. Try to sketch every day. I more or less have less. I've sketched more days than I haven't. That's for sure. To revisit the fundamentals, improve my skills even more. Ooh, I don't know if you were there for it. I'm also working on well, I know you've seen me post about it on my drawings I'm actually doing for my friends. So I'll be actually finally drawing portraits of their D&D characters rather than the AI generated images we've been using for years now. Have you done an art study on Oda? Unofficially. Here, give me just a second. Because I've always... I'll pull it. Because I do One Piece... I have been using Oda and One Piece art specifically as a... Like you saw, I had Nami reference immediate. I have it in my back pocket because I've used it. So if you can... Give me just a second. My sketch folder. Oda used to draw banana hands. I miss those. Yeah, hands are a bridge I've not had to cross yet. But I did these sketches literally last night. I had some free time and I had some free time, and so I did some drawing practice. And these are the best ones I've made so far. I'll actually keep the one on the left there. Warning, female anatomy, I guess? Non-graphic, but these are faces that I drew last night. They're the best ones I've made so far. So you can tell, like, I am doing a study of Oda, trying to break down the patterns, reconstruct the faces. This was one I did a few weeks ago, and I realized I binged My Hero Academia. I just finished it, and I realized it was kind of subtly influencing it, but I kind of got it back on point. And there was another drawing I did that was more full detailed, but this is the best face I've done. The character, like Robin of blonde hair, a little bit. It's similar. That character is a DMP in the home game, so I've been using her to practice because she's canonically like an 11 out of 10, and so I figure if I can draw the most beautiful character in my home game, well, then I can draw everyone else. Then I can draw everyone else too. Miss All Saturday. Yeah. Miss All Saturday. That was my logic. So I've basically, if I were to show you every drawing in that sketch folder, almost all of them are that character. Just me drawing that one character over and over and over. Try and get it right. And that's the best one I've done so far. The Cherobots are a bit of an exception because they are robots, so they don't have ordinary anatomy, obviously. So since they don't have ordinary, they're gonna have differently shaped eyes, shaped face. But I've gotten to a point where, you know, I'm not sure, I don't know if I would call it an art study or not, because an art study makes it sound a little... But yeah, I have been studying Oda, specifically. Because I do specifically One Piece Dungeons, have to be able to emulate. Can we get a manga that is based on the DnD? I would love to. That is a lot of work. Oh, I did the wrong leg. I would love to. I don't know that I have it in. I even have like half a mind. There was a novel I wrote, and I've had it in mind. The idea has occurred to me as a consider making, and the idea of turning that into a manga has also crossed my mind, as well as making a manga out of my home game. That's been going on for... And the answer is, yeah, I'd love to. I just don't know that I... Because granted, you know, we're doing color here, so there's a little bit more to it. I've been drawing this character for 2 hours. It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. I spent 8 hours drawing wood grain. Like, I understand there'd be less of a... I wouldn't need to add as much detail as I am this piece, other piece. But also, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I'm not sure. Many great things in life take work. It's true. It's true, but I only have so much work I can do in a day. God willing, I might actually avoid or other. When I wanted to draw better, I did all-nighters. I hit Oda mode. I don't know that I have that in me. something I will say. You know, when I was really young, I wanted to be comic book, something like that. Now that didn't happen. Obviously, I quit, I gave up. Now I'm just kind of getting back into it. However many. But I think if I were truly an artist at heart, that wouldn't have happened. The reason I feel comfortable saying that is I am a writer. The way I can tell you that I'm a writer is I write. I write even when there's no benefit, even when it's not really. I write because I'm honest. Because it is simply in my nature. Obviously, that's not the case with art, or else I wouldn't have. So I don't know that I would say that I am an artist in the same way that I am. True, I enjoy art. I love the fact that I can now bring to light the things I've had in my head for so long. I love being able to do. It's really great. But also, if I loved art enough to pull an all-nighter, I wouldn't have it. Comics are fun. I used to write a lot too, reduce stories off the dome. I miss those days, man. Like, I write every single day. Not even necessarily as a matter of habit, it's true as that I have built those habits. But actually, a lot of those habits have fallen by the wayside. I mostly just do it because that's my nature. It's my nature. So if that were true, then there would have never been a quitting. Like I've said to, I'm passable, not professional. Where I'm gonna. This line actually I actually kind of dig it. We should write a manga about you, Wally the Art Knight. It'd be very boring. Once there was a knight named Wally. He thought he was bad at art, and so he stopped, thereby preventing himself from getting better. But then one day he got over himself. Now he's pretty passable. The end. Probably. Didn't deal. There we go. Headshot. Frenchman possess you. So you go from a strong fighting knight to a knight that discovers there is more to life in the way of art. There is more to life in the way of art. Thank you. There is more to life. Art. I am a lean, mean, creating human being. Oh, excuse me. I am a lean, the mean, creating a human machine. Man, like fraud. putting less on the torso. Headshot. It's a headshot. It's not. You're not supposed to be looking at the gaze. Oh. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Some that. Let's try this. Mine's really creative when it gets a good idea, don't you think? Absolutely. Absolutely. No, wait, turn it back. No, I didn't do that. There you go. I have. He can make all that and kill me. Oh, yeah. Poor lazy. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot the. Dude. Dude, what do we do about things will go. could probably just reuse. Very good art buff. Thank you. There's a part of me that's tempted. Okay, I think that's... Honestly, I'd be lying if I... art. In a weird way, it's like, if I didn't have all of the crutches that digital art gotten back. Just being full. Like I mentioned at the start of the stream that one of my goals for the New Year's to get to the point where I don't need to rely on those crutches. Goodness, if I didn't have... ability to mirror whatever it is. So, how much do you need to pay you to do the DnD on beyond the one shit? You need to pay something. I think I told you I love doing. I would love to do to have a successful D&D podcast would be a dream come true. But it's a lot of work. Especially, as I've said before, like to avoid relying on AI. I'm not ashamed to admit I use AI tokens in my home D&D. I don't see a moral difference between using AI generated tokens versus ripping images from Google Images. That would be the alternative. I don't have time. Like, we're on 2.5 hours here. I don't have the time to do a detailed headshot of every image. And I have ideas. I have ideas. I'd love to be able to. I'm not. And that's part of what the one shot is for. It's kind of gauging. Or something like that. I need. I need a job, so even though I would love to, it's very difficult to say like, oh yes, absolutely, let's do it, when I don't. Do the D&D in seasons, maybe? Would that help? Would. It would to a certain point. To a point. Because it's kind of like, well, like, for my home game. It's actually pretty easy. I normally I prepare whatever's next while they're at one location. So they're at one island now, and so while they're at this island, I'm preparing the next island. Kind of just works like that. And so yeah, like going in season is one way to do it. I know there are other places that get around doing sessions once a month. There are ways to do it to make it less taxing, absolutely. But it's a lot of commitment. I don't want to sound like I'm making. As I said, this is something I would love to do, but I just have to think of, because honestly, if it's not contributing to the success of the channel and of my online brand, then it's not really good. They have AI play out the D&D characters. That's what DuckDuck did. Yeah, well, I think I've said before, that works as like a one-shot. No one wants to do that for a campaign. Besides the fact that, you know, the AI are not really good for that. I think I've said, like, for me, D&D is something you do. So I don't really have interest in playing with people I don't consider friends. That includes robots. Dang clankers! like, and we'll see. Because the hope is that once or when I find work, then my wife quit her job. And then, so she would presumably take over, like, some of the editing and stuff on the channel. But as I see it right now, if I were to do a D&D podcast, I definitely have to rein back on streaming other things. Trying to hunt down where, see this line here. I'm trying to figure that's coming. You like Luffy and following your dreams is nice and all, but follow them, or else I'm not gonna have any. I don't know where this line is. It's driving me crazy. Yes, have to find the main thing and spam it like crazy. Sucks to be in a box, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I could easily, again, like, spamming it like crazy. I could easily see D&D becoming a box. That's fine. I'm actually perfectly okay. I, personally, me, would not have a problem if you hit the monkey's paw of your ability to stream other things is very limited, but you have a successful D&D podcast. I would take that monkey's paw. 100% I would. That's perfectly fine by me. I would take that monkey's paw 100. But there has to be a presumption that are off doing it. Like, where is this? Wait, don't tell me it's in this. Oh, it's in the, of course, it's in the reference link. I actually am gonna keep, I think it worked. Or, you know what, I'll find another. I know I've said on stream, my fear is just, that it's just, but I mean, obviously, I literally, this is something that I'm fully able and willing to write more books and adventures and things. My monkey grandpa told me to join the Marines, but I left to find the PGttS. Epic. I've got ideas out the window too. Find a way to make it happen. I think we're almost done with this though. So, let's put these eyelids in the layer. Let's actually, that may not matter. Yeah, actually, let's just use very good. Almost done. Have to make the second reactor. I could make some edits later. But awesome. Ask whether she might... Actually, yeah, we might add some... We can do that. Honestly, I'll do it in a second layer for now, but we should probably just merge all of this. Very. Drawing flames is very difficult. Again. Something I always try to remind myself whenever I'm feeling a little down. Sort of my anyone can cook line. You know, all art is just lines. Everything you draw, everything that anyone draws is just made of shape. All shapes are made of lines. Anyone can draw a line. You can draw a line, you can draw another line attached to the first line. Another line attached to the first line. Second line. Next thing you know, drawing a face, or a body, or whatever it is you're trying to draw. Another motivational line, just the process. Might be too blurry. Something else. Hold on to that idea. Hold on to that idea. This. Rather than an actual fire, rush back out. There we go. Thinking no fire. I think that's my current deal. It's no fire. Otherwise, this would be the active. This would be the passive. Not speaking. I like it. I think it also nightlight on it. Blue light! I'm gonna be blind. And all. Also need some clean. That's 600. Perfect. Wow, chef's kiss. There we go. I think we're done. I might end up coming back later and doing some minor tweaks. We'll see, but I think we're done. 3 hours. So I was hoping for Let's actually... So we still have all of them with the layers separated in case I need later. But otherwise, I guess we can introduce the world to Athena. Lovely Miss Holly Blossoms there. Oh wait, I see a problem. I see. Merge to all visible. You know what? I'll have to figure it out later. I'll have to figure it out later. But that's fine. Actually, maybe I can just... Oh, no. Maybe I can just figure it out now. Wand. No, all of that. Where's tolerance? There we go. That's all we need. Oh. Yep. Oh, shoot. That's not all we had to do. That's not all we had to do. Crud. I know what to do. Crud. I'll fix it later. You know what? I'll fix it later. Very minor. You at least see her passive expression. You at least see her passive. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. I just do that same thing again? I think I can. Oh wait, no, but then the thing is gonna... Let's see. Call it more. There we go. There we go. So that's active and passive. Wonderful. Meet Athena, everyone. So good. We'll see if the next ones we do take longer or less time on account of them being cases. They'll probably. But nonetheless, that's very exciting. At the moment, I'm looking at it, and I feel like probably ways I could do better, but I don't know what they are right now. So I guess that's where we'll end. But we can say hello to Blossoms, since we just finished up her character. I guess we'll catch you guys on the flip side. So I guess final announcements again. Pirates of PowerHolders just got majorly overhauled, so check that out in the description. Check that out on my links. 26 version will be live soon. I don't know when, but it'll be live by the time that Pirates of PowerHolders comes in. Pirates Guide to the Sky comes out next month. I think it'll come out Valentine's Day weekend. I'll be excited. Races, 50 monsters, and adventure for party of level 6. And if you tune in next month, I try and do it and after Valentine's Day. So the weekend, you'll get to party with Athena and everybody else. Including the Mr. Asadaku, who was here earlier. That's all the announcements. We should have more Chrono Trigger on Sunday. Otherwise, let's... You turn on some lights in here. Blinding us. Yeah. It is.
Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Hi, I'm your hallowed Holdra. I like playing horror games, retro games, and RPGs. Today we're playing a good old retro Wii game. Well, no, Door to Phantom.